one thing that this Israel versus Iran conflict has really shown us all in the West is just how many people in the West are willing to side with the Islamic regime. The Islamic regime deserves and needs to fall. That is a good thing. But I've been seeing so many people not only defend the Islamic regime, but say that the regime cannot fall, because if the regime falls, then there's going to be more issues that are going to come as a result of that. People have been saying that, well, if a regime falls, it's going to cause more problems than if it were to remain the way that it is. Here's the problem, though. Iran at the moment deserves to fall. It needs to fall. The Iranian people need to be free. You have Iranians in the streets that are chanting and protesting, and they want the regime gone. It is an Islamic regime. When Islam is in the mix, guaranteed there is going to be a great deal of violence. Yes, it can cause a lot of issues when the regime falls, but it is in fact a good thing when Islam is no longer involved. If you can get rid of Islam from a particular point of power, you are in a stronger position. Islam is not compatible with the West. It's not even compatible with the Middle East. It's just not compatible at all. Islam is a death cult. Now, what I've been seeing, a lot of people that I actually really respect, including the likes of Charlie Kirk, saying that a regime fall is not a good thing for Iran. Here is what he said. He's responding to Lindsey Graham, who, by the way, I'm not a huge fan of because Lindsey Graham is a massive war hawk. But nevertheless, Lindsey says, I would like to see this regime fall. If we don't take out their nuclear program now, which, by the way, Trump has been adamant about since his first time in office, even before then, he was on the campaign trail saying that Iran cannot ever get a nuclear weapon. And if they were to get one or even come close to getting one, be sure they will be held to pay. They'll get rid of it. Now, if they don't get rid of the nuclear program, they're going to regret it. We're very close. Be all in, Mr. President, in helping Israel finish the job. And Charlie Kirk responded by going, and Charlie Kirk goes, this is insane. Regime change will result in bloody civil war, killing hundreds of thousands and creating another massive Muslim refugee crisis. Topping a leader is never as easy as you think. It almost always results in further involvement, a civil war, and chaos. Resist this. So what's the alternative then? Keep the regime in power? Keep the Iranian people in bondage? I would love to know the alternative to this. See, it's great that Charlie Kirk thinks that a regime change will result in a bloody civil war, refugee crisis, you name it. Yes, he's right, more than likely. And the problem with having a massive refugee crisis is, where do you think the Muslims are going to go? They're probably going to come here, to Australia, to the West, to Christian countries. And then we're going to have another problem, Charlie. Yes, you've got Trump in power at the moment who's closed the border, but all of us, we have got open borders at the moment. Albanese's opened the border. He's allowed so many immigrants in. We've had a lot of immigrants flood our borders recently. He allowed in 26-something thousand new migrants from African countries, I believe it is, more than likely Muslim. So I understand where Charlie is coming from, having a refugee crisis, and I don't want that. But in saying that, I also want the Iranian people to be free. It is time that they are free. There is a huge difference, though, with the Iranian Islamic regime needing a change versus some other country. The Iranian regime, it's time for it to fall. And if you don't believe that, mate, I worry. I really do. Because Tommy Robinson seemed to think that the Iranian regime needs to fall as well. Iran is a whole different ballgame to the Islamic Sharia hellholes like Afghan or Iraq. The Persian people want freedom from Islam. They have been held hostage by the Islamic regime. Personally, I hope their people rise and topple their oppressors. But I fully understand everyone's concerns. But I believe Iran will be a different story. I hope Tommy's right. I don't think he's been wrong so far. I hope he's right. And Tommy, also in the UK, by the way, he has more at stake with the refugee crisis, right? He has a lot of concerns, but even he believes that Iran is different. I believe Iran is different. I think the Iranian people deserve to have freedom, especially from the likes of Islam. Now, if that means that it's going to cause a refugee crisis, maybe Israel can deal with that. And I hope to God that our Western leaders don't go, come on, bring the Muslims here. We'd love to have you here, and opening the floodgates. No way. But if it means that the Iranian people can be free, okay. And hopefully, Lord willing, I know God's will is going to be done regardless, but Lord willing, I just hope and pray that it doesn't mean true hell for the West, if that's the case. Hopefully, Israel will do the right job, and Trump, I think loads of people trust Trump. Charlie trusts Trump, but yet he's now seemingly going against it because Trump wants to topple the regime. It worked for Syria. It's worked for Japan. It's worked for many of these regimes that have been in power for a long time. Regime change, yes, it could end up in civil war. Doesn't mean that it will. Doesn't mean that you're going to have a massive refugee crisis if it's done properly. And you got to hope now that Trump's in office and Trump knows what he's doing, you got to hope and pray that it actually gets done properly. So what is it, Charlie? Do you believe Trump? I understand everyone's, like Tommy, I understand everyone's issues because I've got probably the same and fears. I've got the same ones, believe you me. But you just got to hope and trust. So in a way, Tommy Robinson is calling out Charlie Kirk and saying, well, we have more to lose and we want the Iranian people to be free. Charlie doesn't. Charlie's border's closed. So it's all good and well for Charlie to say that, but we want the Iranian people to be free. Do you want the Iranian people to be free, Charlie? Bit of trust, bit of faith. Anyway, I could be eating my words later on. I don't know. I just don't know. But I have hope and I have faith. We'll see what happens. Anyway, that's enough from me. You guys take care. Be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.